Hello there and welcome. I'm Theodore Basil from the Pro Action Media Group, and I'm really excited to be sitting here today with a young man who is really going places and doing some great work with his clients. I'm sitting here with Chris Gatt, Managing Director of Prestige Group International, who have been achieving some amazing returns for their clients over the past 5 years. Chris, great to catch up with you today and thank you for your time.
It's a great pleasure to be here, Theo.
Chris, may I start off by asking you, how long has the Prestige Group actually been in business for?
Yeah, Prestige Group has been in business since 2003. We originated as a mortgage broking business. We have since branched out into offering off-the-plan investments in Australia and have been doing so since 2006. We've also been involved in the US property market since 2009.
I ask you, Chris, what are the main key financial areas the Prestige Group specialise in, or in other words, what does the Prestige Group do the best?
In short, we design investment strategies to create financial freedom for our clients. In that, we offer the following services: finance through our accredited brokers, Australian property, both established and off the plan, extensive property management and body corporate services throughout metropolitan Melbourne, with the intention to expand into Sydney over the next 12 months.
Right.
We're also involved in the international property market. We offer self-managed super fund advice through our accredited associates. We also assist with risk management insurance, which is also through our accredited associates. Yep. And we help with personal insurance. We believe all these elements are vital elements in not only attaining but also maintaining financial freedom.
In a few words, Chris, could you give me perhaps a little bit of background about how you got involved in the property and finance industry and what led you to become such an expert in this area?
Yeah, I initially started in the finance industry by completing a traineeship in financial services. While I was actually training and working in the industry, I began investing in the Australian property market, and I was lucky enough to purchase my first property at the age of 21. As time passed, I was actually beginning to create some wealth, not by the income I was making, but more by my investment decisions in property. It then became a passion of mine, and I wanted to educate my clients what they could actually do with their equity and how they could make it work harder for them.
It's a great achievement to purchase your first property at age 21. You must be very proud. Was there something that inspired you or motivated you towards sort of moving towards doing something that is obviously a big goal so quickly?
Yeah, I guess it was instilled into me from a very young age from my parents that the quicker I got into the market, the better off I'd be. So I tried to get in as quickly as I could, and the benefits have been clear to see.
It's an absolute delight to come here and work with young people too. I think why should there be any limitations on age when you're dealing, with property or personal financial securities?
Yeah.
Chris, what do you think the best way would be for someone to get started as an investor?
I think the first thing that is needed above anything else is an actual desire and passion to build a better future for not only yourself but also your loved ones.
Yeah.
From there, it really is a simple matter of speaking to someone who has some experience in the industry, and they can begin to educate you on the options available. We actually believe that strategy is the most important part of the process, and this is the first thing that needs to be done. If we can get the strategy drawn up correctly, then the correct decisions can be made not only for today and tomorrow, but for the many years ahead.
And can you provide me or provide us with some real-life examples of 2 or 3 properties, say both here and in the USA, that in your opinion you think would make a good investment?
Yeah, Theo, with property investment in Australia, the one thing that limits people on most occasions is their cash flow. Most investments are negatively geared, meaning the investor will have to contribute towards the investment from their own funds on either a weekly or a monthly basis. However, there are a few ways to maximise the amount of Australian investments one can hold. One of those strategies is the NRAS scheme. This is a relatively new scheme which has been introduced by the government to assist with housing affordability in Australia. In short, the landlord agrees to rent their house out for 20% under market value to assist tenants with housing affordability, and in return the government offers the investor $10,000 per annum in subsidies over a 10-year period. In most cases this will make their investment positively geared. Another option available to investors is purchasing property through their self-managed super fund, using their superannuation funds as a deposit to purchase an investment property in Australia. Again, this is a fairly new investment strategy which allows investors to use funds to purchase property for retirement purposes. Our team of accredited associates are available to assist with all the relevant information required for this style of investment. Another strategy is purchasing properties which are in the price point of between $350,000 and $450,000. These properties generally provide greater returns on investment when taking into account things such as purchase price, holding costs, and rental income. In some cases, properties in this price point can actually be neutrally geared. All these methods are designed to help clients diversify their property portfolio, which in turn minimises their risk, and at the same time allows them to maximise the amount of properties they can purchase, as cash flow limitations are generally at their most controlled. And the more properties an investor can own, the more capital growth they can cash in on, and ultimately that is where wealth is really created.
That's interesting. With reference to the US property market, Chris, could you perhaps tell us a little bit more about the US?
I sure can. The US property market is a totally different strategy in that it's fully focused on return on investment. This is due to extremely low entry points, a strong Australian dollar, plus a high demand for rental properties due to large numbers of prospective tenants in the US. We actually believe the US strategy is a 7 to 10 year strategy, which put simply allows the investor to purchase properties which are fully renovated at anywhere between 40 and 60% under their previous peak values prior to the GFC. When you put that together with the fact that the Australian dollar is approximately 30% stronger than it normally is, then it's clear to see the opportunity that is available to the investor. As I mentioned, we believe it's a 7 to 10 year strategy in the US. However, in that time, the rental income received by the investor should have repaid most, if not all, of their capital outlay. And if in that time there is, say, a 15 to 20% capital growth over that period, and the Australian dollar is more in line with the traditional USA currency exchange rate of around 90 Australian cents to the US dollar, then there is a very strong potential for the investor to make more money without actually having to contribute anything extra to their initial investment. Most entry points in the US at the moment are between 50,000 and 100,000. That's Australian dollars. With the exchange rate at the moment being close to parity, it equates to the same amount in US dollars. Net annual returns are normally between 10 and 15% after we actually take into account holding costs. Those holding costs include property management fees, landlord's insurance, property taxes, and homeowners association fees.
They're great returns, aren't they?
Yeah, returns that we aren't used to as an Australian investor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we actually have clients who are diversifying between the Australian and US property markets. And what they're doing is using the positive gearing of the US property market to assist with the negative gearing of the Australian market. And what that's doing in a lot of cases is making most portfolios self-sufficient.
Wow. You mentioned earlier, Chris, that the entry level for buying good quality property in the USA is quite low. Do you think this investment strategy would perhaps suit an investor who may have a superannuation fund with, let's say, 100 to 250,000 in it?
Yeah, most definitely, Theo. In most cases, clients looking to enter the property market in Australia with their super fund, they will generally need above $200,000 to cover their deposit, their purchase costs, and also maintain a suitable buffer. The US property market offers another option for those who have got less funds available. Again, our accredited associates will be available to offer any further information on these strategies.
Yeah, sure. And I guess all importantly, in what ways can you help people get finance?
Look, unfortunately, it's probably a fact of life that finance is the most important part of the investment.
True.
The best way is to have an initial consultation with our qualified consultants. They can not only assess a client's current financial situation, but they can also see where the client may wish to be in, say, 5, 10 or even 20 years down the track. This then allows a consultant to devise a strategy to help the client achieve their goals. We offer clients the option of visiting us at our office. However, we are also happy to travel to their place of residence or workplace if that is more convenient for them.
That's great service.
Yeah.
Great service. Chris, where can people find out more information about Prestige Group International?
Yeah, people are welcome to visit our website, www.prestigegrp.com.au. They can also call us on 1300 732 595 and set up an appointment with one of our consultants.
Can people email you as well?
Most definitely. They can get us at inquiries@prestigegrp.com.au.
Fantastic. Chris, it's been absolutely most informative and interesting day. Thanks so much for your time, and I really enjoyed working with you, and best of luck in the future for yourself and your clients.
Thank you very much, Theo.
Pleasure.